All right, come up with that to it. All right, guys, welcome to the Brisbane 4x4. We're live on YouTube right now. We're going to give a quick rundown. There's a lot of questions that have been coming through, especially on the Jeep and the GU builds. But first of all, I'll run you through my favourite car that we got here at the 4x4 show.
You want to fix that? Just put the batteries back in. Is that going to resync on its own? Yeah, it should. We've got some technical difficulties here at the moment.
Test. Okay, we're back. So the Ram TRX, 2022 Ram TRX, quick story behind this thing here. We've got a really strong affiliation with Ram Trucks Australia. They rang up about sort of 8-9 months ago when the first prototype Ram TRX came into Australia. We were doing a lot of work in the US at the time, and I'll be honest with you, they asked me to go and do a review on it for our YouTube channel, and I kind of kept pushing it back. I thought it was just going to be a 1500 with the supercharger bolted on. I didn't really do a lot of research about it. Anyway, the day finally come. I went and picked it up from the Ram dealer, Frizzell's on the Gold Coast. And it's about a 4-kilometre trip from Frizzell's on the Gold Coast back to Patriot HQ. I picked the car up to go out and do the testing. By the time I got back to Patriot HQ, I rang the dealer and said, order me one. I don't care what it costs, I need one, I have to have one of these. That thing there behind me is a 3.5 tonne supercar. It is, anybody who's been in one or had the opportunity to go in one, the thing is absolutely unbelievable. It's got a Hellcat 6.2 Hemi in it, 702 horsepower it makes, constant 4-wheel drive. This thing's been tuned now, it's running in rear-wheel drive. The team at High Torque have done a bit of work on this one. We've put big injectors in it, bigger pulley. We're running about 13 or 14 pounds of boost now. Air intake, it makes 721 horsepower at the back wheels. And it is just absolutely insane. Dynamic suspension in it, so it's got live valving in it, compression and rebound. The video on the demo that I took out that day will be launching in about 2 weeks' time. I jumped the thing, slid it, just absolutely unbelievable, and the car just does everything that you would expect an off-road race car to do. Fully legal on 37s. The modifications that I've made for this, besides the engine work that we've done, Addictive Desert Designs front bar and rear bar. I've got the full suite of Rigid lights. Rigid are launching into Australia very, very soon. We're doing a little bit of testing with those guys as well. The Rigid products are absolutely unbelievable as well. Really good gear. Running on KMC wheels, Yokohama 37-inch tyres, and it's got an ADD rear bar. The only thing left to do with this is we're building a chase rack for it. So we'll be using this as a pre-runner for the race series right throughout the year, and specifically Fink. So we'll be pre-running up and down Fink probably the week before the race, get all of our markings and our logging for the track. We're going to put a chase rack on the back there, which will hold another 37, a Pro Eagle jack, and a toolkit with a few spares on for race day when the boys chase us down the track with the trailer on the back. But hopefully we're not going to need it. So that kind of sums up about the Ram TRX. Anyone got any questions? Couple of questions on the TRX? Anyone?
Can I have the keys?
Yes. Grab them. They're in there. Any other questions? No. Okay. Moving on to the next, the Gladiator. So this build started, believe it or not, 3 years. I've had this Jeep now. It's taken us just over 12 months to get the engineering done on it. Obviously, we've been pretty busy, but with all of the work that we've been doing in the United States and the opportunities we've had in the US for some wheeling, I've built more 79s than I can even remember at the moment. That phase is kind of gone. With the 6-wheel drive and the black truck, we still got both of those trucks. I just wanted to build something different. We've done a bit of wheeling over in the US in Moab in season 1 of Patriot Games, which was 7 odd years ago now. And I fell in love with the capabilities of the Jeep. You know, in Australia, we've got this stigma that the Jeep's it's a hairdresser's car, but the reality of the Jeep is what you get out of the box. And we don't have any association with Jeep, so this is just my own opinion. What you get out of the box with a Rubicon, a Gladiator, or a JL, the ability of factory cars with electronic disconnect sway bars, 35-inch tyres, twin lockers, 4-to-1 reductions in the transfer. These are things that you try and get out of a 79 when you go and spend $100,000 on one, you know what I mean? And you get them out of the box. The downside of the Jeep, obviously, is they're no good for towing, right? if you're not towing a caravan, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. And with the products that we produce with Patriot Campers, towing any of the X range of camper trailers, the Jeep is more than capable. With us, you know, obviously we don't leave anything standard. The parts of availability in the United States when it comes to Jeeps is like, you know, it's like going to a supermarket here in Australia. You can go to shopping centres in America and buy all of these accessories that bolt on, which is kind of what we've done with this. So we started off first phase, if you watch the videos, we put in a set of Dynatrack Pro Rock 60 axles, 40-inch tyres. It's got a 8-lug stud pattern, massive knuckles in the thing. We've put in 1350 drive shafts, which is the same drive shafts that we run in the trophy truck. 4-link rear end, rock crawler 3-inch remote red suspension. And this is all stuff that's kind of available off the shelf. We had to make a lot of modifications with the engineering team back at Patriot HQ to get this thing. The big problem for us was the right-hand drive. Everything that was available in the US was left-hand drive. We've put this thing through a 12-month process, a very expensive process on a second stage manufacture. So the car is ultimately now, it's not a Jeep anymore, it's a Patriot Super Tourer, and it's 100% legal in every state in Australia. So on the 40s and the axles. Second part of the build was obviously the installation of the Hemi. So 6.4 Hemi, which we've got a Harrop 2650 on top, made 550 horsepower at the back wheels. Didn't last very long, but we knew that, you know, the standard naturally aspirated Hemi engines are well known. They're called a glass piston motor. If you can see down the bottom here, or who saw the burnout, put your hands up if you saw the burnout on Patriot Games. So what I thought was the gearbox shifting up was actually the second fuel pump kept cutting out. So obviously the amount of fuel we're putting into the thing, we're running a standard fuel pump, but we had a secondary fuel pump. The factory fuel pump started failing with the draw that we were demanding from it for the fuel. So every time I thought the car was trying to grab another gear, it was actually dropping fuel and leaning out. Started detonating, and if you watch the video back, you can hear where the thing starts really rattling. And when it starts rattling, it detonates and just destroys the piston. So if you have a look down here, there's 6 of the pistons with 20-cent piece chunks missing out of them, and obviously the top of them are all kind of messed up as well. So I took it back to the team at High Torque, which massive shout out to the crew at High Torque to take on this job, and the time frame that they actually did it was amazing. But we blew the thing up 2 weeks ago. I was flying out to the US the next day. Spoke to Ken. Actually, you saw the first phone call on the episode. I thought it was maybe a bearing or a piston noise, but the team down at High Torque, got the motor out, got the thing rebuilt, got it back in. I picked it up the day before on Thursday for bump-in. Unfortunately, we haven't had the time to tune it yet, so we need a couple of days on the dyno now. There's a new cam coming for it should have arrived yesterday actually. So we've got a new cam profile coming. We want to make over 1,000 horsepower with it. So I think we should get somewhere around 700, 750 at the back hubs, which is going to be about 1,000 horsepower at the crank. The engine is capable of doing more than that. You know, obviously with a bigger cam, bigger fuel, but we're going to make it too unreliable to be able to use it as a touring or a four-wheel driving rig. So 750 at 4 wheels. This thing, I think the next burnout we'll do it in 4-wheel drive. They tell me the axles are unbreakable. It's got a 8-speed gearbox in it out of a 2500 power wagon. That gearbox they've had a lot of success with as well. So the drivetrain should be pretty capable. Besides those couple of modifications, the only other things that we've done is, like every vehicle, we fitted a GME XRS unit in it so I can communicate with the boys when we're out wheeling. And we're now doing some trialling on the Rigid Adapt light bars for that team over at Rigid as well. Not that they're not proven, but now in Australia, that light bar that you see on top, 50-inch Rigid light bar, it's got a GPS module inbuilt, so it kind of with the speed, it'll change the projection of the light, which I'm really keen to have a play around with. Projection of light depending on what you're doing. You go faster on the highway, it'll project the light down the road. As you slow down or go rock crawling, you know, it senses the speed and spreads out the light. And there's a lot of functionality that's available with that as well. What have I missed? Yeah, I think that's about it on the Jeep. Any questions on the Jeep? Yeah, we're definitely going to put a snorkel on it. So we haven't got a lot of room in there. I've been talking to the team at Radius Fab. Before we blew the motor, it was meant to go up there so they can have a look at designing an airbox up for us and get a snorkel in it. But yeah, definitely 100%. Anything else, guys? No? Very. Yeah, so the SSM kit will be available. We will be selling the SSM kit. Obviously, we put a huge investment into that kit. For me, it's kind of been a little bit... I've been surprised by the amount of inquiry that we've actually got. You know, seems to be a pretty tight Jeep community here in Australia, which I didn't really know of. But it looks like we're going to be doing a couple of installs over the next couple of months. And the SSM kit will be available with or without the Hemi. So that's the reason we went down the path of engineering it without the Hemi. The Hemi's actually installed just on a mod plate. So we did the SSM to ensure that if somebody wanted to keep their factory 3.6 and just do the axle and the 40-inch tyre upgrade, they could without having to do the Hemi. And then you can add the Hemi in as another option. Anything else? No, all right, that's it. I'll hand over to the boys. I think you want to go first? Talk through your daily, the D-Max. Has everybody entered the D-Max giveaway competition, by the way? Because that's happening really soon. The black D-Max, Ashton's daily driver, we're going to be giving that away. Patriot Games in June, guys. June, we're giving it away? Yep, June. So June, we're going to be giving that thing away. Over 100 grand's worth of D-Max there. And surprisingly, the twins haven't absolutely destroyed it. It's been given a bit of a workout, but I'll hand over to Ash. He'll give you a run through that, and then Christian can talk you through the GU.
Alrightio, so obviously the D-Max over there is my daily driver, and honestly, in my opinion, are the best Aussie dual cab ute that you can get. It is comfortable, and the interior is amazing, and the power plant is good, but apart from, I just say stock car, obviously, it's far from that. It's got some Yokohama wheel, it's got some... It's got some Yokohama tyres and Peacock wheels. It's got a superior engineering lifting kit, some fat bars, snorkels, all the off-road animal bar work, rigid lights, and yeah, the thing is just an animal. It is one of my favourite cars to drive, and unlike our other cars, it gets you from A to B every single time, and
it hasn't blown a motor.
And it hasn't blown up a motor like a couple of our other cars, thanks to you. And him, mostly him.
I've done 2 of them, it's fine.
He's done 2, I've done 1, you've done 1? Mm-hmm. Pretty much. But yeah, it's going to be sad to give this car away. I wanted to keep it, but obviously it's going to be good to give it to one of you guys. So I jump on to Patriot Supply, I buy some things, and you could be driving that thing. So yeah,
well done.
That's pretty much it.
Awesome.
Should we pass over to arguably the best rig in the Patriot Games fleet, the Jeep Recovery unit? ZD30, God's motor?
No, it's not.
All right, Christian.
Motor. Well done, mate. That's it over.
Yeah, so the banner that's on the GU has actually been used twice now. Twice, yeah.
Whatever, Joe.
So the GU has towed out this thing from 2 holes. I don't think that you've towed me out yet. But I'm sure that point will come. But guys, I think that everyone knows the GU platform and knows what they're capable of. So I just took that and I went the whole of it. So the reason why I bought this car was just because I found it cheap, wanted to buy it, paint it, put a on, and then sell it to buy something else. But over that month that I was building it, I did fall very deeply in love with this car and what it can do. So it was here at the show last year with not that much on it, but over the last year we have done some very big jobs to it. Mainly the full superior kit that has gone under this thing, which has just taken the car from like your average GU build to a very capable car. So all the year we did fit in November of last year, but I've only been able to go out and use it on a trip once, which is the one time with the Jeep, just because I've been building this thing up and I haven't been able to use it much. And last year at the show, got the wheels and the tyres from Bob James, so those races 17 by 9 KMC grenade crawl and a 37-inch Goodyear Wrangler MTR, which is by far my favourite tyre that I have ever used. But this thing is also going to be getting a lot more work done within the next couple months, being able to, I guess, kind of tour with it. Maybe so we're going to be doing small hiders and tube guards, canopy and a tent. But probably the most fun mod that has added a fair bit to the car, which I haven't had for long, is the engine has been fully built by the team at G Turbo. So the ZD ended up going 305 horsepower and 710 Newton meters, which out of a 4-cylinder diesel is a hell of a lot.
Big power.
Yeah, so, and the bar on Insta, Ashton Me built that over about 2 weeks, has aged lights in it, just like the other 2 cars. I have the same bar that's on the Jeep coming for it soon, so I'll be making up some mounts for that. Yeah, just a really cool car that I do love to bits, and there's going to be a lot more content on this thing coming out very soon. So cheers. Yeah.
Well done, mate. Good.
Yeah, so that's a run through all the builds. I'll just say for the GU, so the GU's been, we launched the FJ here last year, that's the biggest build that we ever took on. Obviously, there was a lot of resources that were thrown at the FJ when we built that for Ashton, with both the twins. But I think you'll see with the GU, if you follow us through social media and follow the YouTube stuff as well, the GU's kind of the boys have been left on their own with that one. They've obviously getting a help from a lot of the people that support the show, but financially I haven't tipped anything into that car. The guys the boys have now, anything that they want to do on that car, they're doing it themselves. You would have seen on Instagram, they couldn't afford the labour to rebuild the head, so they did all that themselves, YouTube, forums, and I think for a couple of 18-year-old kids, what they've learnt through the team at Patriot Campers and, what they've had around them, it's really starting to show now, and I'm hoping this continues with these guys with the big builds. So boys, really proud of the GU in that respect, although I hate the thing. I love what it represents for you two boys, so well done, congratulations. So coming up over the next couple of weeks, guys, we got 2 more episodes left in the United States. We head to a place called Anza Borrego, just outside of San Diego, next Tuesday. The following Tuesday after that, you're going to see us lose a soldier in a really big way. Maybe some tears out of Ashton in the US, some dreams that were crushed with another broken motor and another car. So you'll see that coming up after that, guys. We're going to run you through the GU build, all the stuff, the content that the boys have been filming on their own, the big install from Superior Engineering and everybody else that's been involved and helped out the boys with those builds. And then you're going to see the episode on the Ram, the walk around on the Ram TRX, and the day I probably had the most fun in a road registered car in my life. Next weekend we're off racing the McIntyre 900, so I'll be in the 484 truck next weekend. The boys will be in the new Class 10, Australia's longest off-road race, 900 kilometres straight, is happening in St George. If anybody's from around there, it'd be great to get everybody out and see the support. So yeah, guys, that about wraps it up. Thank you very much for joining us in the heat, 36 degrees and 88% humidity. You guys are all rock stars, because I'm going to have a bottle of water and get under the shade. We'll see you guys on YouTube, and make sure you keep following the next few episodes of Patriot Games. Cheers, guys. Thank you.